Hey everyone, welcome to Self-Care Sunday. So this morning's practice in just a few moments is going to be on mindful walking or walking meditation. But before we get started with that, I'd like to invite you first into the lower level of our space. Most of you know we live in an old tomato factory warehouse. Some of you may not know that, but usually I do my videos in my studio office space on the second floor, and today I wanted a little more room, and so I am on the first floor of our building. So, but we're going to start this morning or today, whatever time it is for you, with the sound of the bell, and just take a few moments to gather ourselves, to pause and set our intention of doing some self-care practice, some nervous system regulation, some strengthening of our nervous system. And remember, our intention is that even though we may be practicing on our own, that there are others that are watching this video or doing practices like this one. And we just need to remember that we're connected and that we're not alone in this, because sometimes it can feel that way. So let's just remember that that's not true. And as long as we put our attention and intention into more of a community and connected space and feeling, that that's what will support us or will help to support us. So I invite you to find a place that's comfortable for you. It may be standing like I am. It may be seated. It might be lying down. You can have your eyes opened or closed. And let's just take a few moments to listen to the sound of the bell. So take a few moments as the sound of the bell slowly decreases, to take a few slow breaths, or to just even feel your breath. You don't necessarily have to slow your breath down. Sometimes it just naturally happens when we pay attention to how we're breathing. All right, so I'm going to set this to the side. Today's practice, like I said, is a mindful walking or walking meditation practice. We're going to begin the practice now. So I invite you to start to move around the space you're in, or maybe you need to go outside or find a space that works for you. It doesn't have to be huge, big space. We're walking. The ideal for this is that you're walking in a way that you're not trying to get anywhere. So you could be walking in a circle, you could be walking back and forth on a line, you could be walking from one part of your house to another and then back without any goal of getting anywhere. That said, sometimes we need to bring this into our lives. Maybe we can only find it time to fit it in when we're walking from our house to our car to our house. That even though you're going somewhere, you kind of have a goal to get to somewhere, you can still slow down, and this practice can still be very beneficial. So I'm just going to start walking around my space, and hopefully you can hear me with my mic. I'm going to let my arms dangle and even shake out a little bit, maybe move my shoulders a little to encourage and invite them to relax and to settle. I want my upper body to feel kind of light and free and at ease. My lower body is going to be finding steadiness and strength and groundedness to give me support as I move and walk, in a way that allows my upper body to stay more light and free. So I started with a slow walk, just feeling my feet on the ground. So I invite you to bring your attention to the soles of your feet now and feel the pressure and shift of your weight on each foot as you walk. And remember, you can play with the pace. So you can go really slow. You can speed up a little bit more if that feels like it's going to help you to stay more present or give you more access to doing this. And one of the big things that we include in walking mindfully is also thinking about paying attention to the breath. So maybe you breathe in when you take 1 or 2 steps, and then you breathe out and you take 1 or 2 or 3 steps. And it's okay to look around, but you also can keep your eyes more on the floor or in front of you if that feels more helpful. This isn't meant to be a rigid practice. It's meant to bring presence and attention, bringing your mind and body together. So our body's in the present moment always. Our mind does space and time travel most of the time, unless we're paying attention. This is a way to recognize where your body is and how it feels while you're moving. So you can feel your feet, the soles of your feet touching the ground, and then you can also bring your breath. So you're breathing in when you take a step or 2 or 3, depending on the length of your breath. And you breathe out for however many steps feel kind of natural with the length of your breath. You don't have to try to make your breath longer. You can just notice what your natural breath is doing. Maybe it's 1 step in, 1 step out, or maybe it's a little longer than that. We're not trying to make anything specific happen. We're just slowing down our walking a little bit and paying attention to what we notice when we slow down. And I invite you to play with the pace, the speed. So maybe for several steps you go on super slow motion and notice how that feels. Try not to hold your breath, even though you may be focusing a little more. I find I have to do a little more focus to stay balanced when I slow down, and that can create a little bracing in my breath or holding. So try to keep the breath moving with ease, just naturally relaxed breath, even if you're slowing way down. Notice though what you're aware of in your leg and foot muscles, your hips, even your core. But you could also try even a little quicker pace and see what you notice there. What feels more easeful, what feels harder, more challenging. What does your breath want to do when you go a little quicker? If we practice this enough, then we can integrate it into pretty much any pace of walking. But because we're not used to it, we're not used to being fully present as we move throughout our lives, slowing down can really augment the process of being more present and mindful. Remember, we're not trying to be rigid statues. You can let your arms swing. If you need a little shake out while you're moving, you can do that. Maybe a little neck stretch. It's fine to look around and notice what's coming in through your senses, things that you're looking at that are pleasant, sounds you're hearing. We've already talked about the sensations through your feet, but you might also notice the air on your skin, on your face, on your hands, on your neck. And of course, there are also the senses of smell and taste you may be aware of as well. Isn't it nice to just give ourselves the chance to slow down, especially this time of year where it can feel very stressful and hurried and packed with activities, which are all very beautiful and can bring so much joy and playfulness and fun. But it also, I think about this time of year as a time of where it's colder outside and the days are shorter, the nights are longer. It's really a time that I feel is more natural for us to be more still and more reflective, to find times to slow down and to really rest and to process or integrate the activities and things that have happened over the last year, so that when springtime comes in February, March, when the weather starts to warm up, we feel like we're ready for that. Giving ourselves time to rest and slow down and do more reflection and processing during these more cold and dark times can be very healing and can help us then feel like we've actually created a space for more energy and activity when the light starts to change, the days become longer, the temperatures become warmer, and we're ready to move fully into the activities of spring and summer. But everybody has to find their own way. It's just what feels helpful and good to me. So feel your breath again, feel your feet again, breathing in for a few steps and breathing out for a few steps, playing with the pace and just enjoying, wiggling out a little if you're feeling tense or braced. Can you let your arms just be relaxed? Maybe they want to swing a little. That's totally normal, natural to happen. Remember, you don't have to be a statue. You don't have to be rigid. This isn't about getting something perfect or right. It's just about inviting ourselves into presence, into a little more attention, into slowness in a way that helps us to calm our nervous system, moves us more into a regulated nervous system state. So I'm going to move into pausing my walking and ending this practice, but you are welcome to continue if you like. Thank you for joining Just take a moment if you are pausing to notice how you're feeling, what you're aware of in your body, in your nervous system, in your mind, in your breath. I feel much more grounded. So thank you for practicing with me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, great week, and I will see you next Sunday for Self-Care Sunday. Take care. Till then.